Hello everyone and welcome to Ferris Sports Update on the Bulldog Sports Network. I'm your host Rob Bentley, and today we'll talk Bulldog track and field. With us is head men's and women's coach Steve Picucci. Coach, thanks for stopping by today.
Thanks for having me, Rob.
Bulldogs this past weekend hosted the annual Bulldog Invitational at Top Taggart Field, and I know with the weather warming up a bit, it was a great day for track and field here in Big Rapids.
Yeah, we actually got really lucky. It was 60-degree weather, and I mean a year ago we had 30 degrees and strong winds, so we'll take 60 degrees and light winds, but it got a little breezy later in the day, but it was perfect conditions.
I know your kids were excited about the opportunity to compete on their home track, really the only time of the year that you guys get the opportunity to do that. How important is that to be able to have that chance to compete in front of the home fans?
It's pretty nice for the kids. I mean, it is our only home meet. Every about 5 or 6 years we actually host the GLIAC meet, but this year it's our only home track meet. So it's kind of nice for them to be able to run on their home track, and parents come down or come up for the weekend to kind of watch the meet. So it was kind of nice for them to kind of get a meet in. And over the years the meet's grown too. We had almost 10 schools there, so it's kind of nice for them to get a home meet and actually have lots of kids there in competition. So it's kind of nice.
Talk a little bit about that competition and who were some of the teams here on hand for the Bulldog Track and Field Invitational.
This year, like I said, we had about 10 schools. We had Lake Superior State, Northwood, Saginaw Valley, Calvin College, Hope College, Lansing Community College. Central Michigan brought some kids over. We had some unattached athletes from Michigan and Michigan State, so it's quite a big turnout for us.
As far as individual performances go, who were some of the key athletes for Ferris that really performed well in the meet?
On the women's side, we had Jess Pilling, our freshman thrower, was second in the weight throw, so that was a big performance for us. To get her to perform well, again 3 weeks in a row she had good meets. And then on the track, Zoe Holman won the 400, and then came back and was second in the 200 in her first 200 of the year. And she only ran a couple of those indoor too, so she ran really well. And then we had freshman Samantha Johnson get a second in both the 1500 and the 800, so that was a big performance. Then we had quite a few girls place pretty high in the 3K. I think we had 3 girls in the top 5, so Alyssa, Anna, and Brittany, and I think that was the 3 that were in the top 5.
Talk a little bit about those distance kids that you mentioned, how they performed, and how really as a group that they help the team and really contribute to the success you have.
Yeah, well, I mean, we have a really strong distance group of kids, and those are carryover cross-country kids, but it really helps us as far as kind of establish a center for our program, so they really help kind of set the tone for our team, and really kind of go out there with those 3 girls in the 3K, and then come back with some of the girls in the 15 and the 800. It really helps kind of set the tone for our program, and really a focal point for us on the track. You throw in a really quality 400 runner like Zoe, it really kind of gives us somebody in every event area from 400 on up. So.
As far as the men's side goes, who were some of the leaders that performed well on the men's team?
We had quite a few strong performances on the men's team. Ryan Shute kind of led the way with a second place finish in the open 3K. So that was a pretty good run for Ryan, considering he's more of a 1500 guy as we get outdoors. So for him to step up and do that was pretty impressive. So he ran pretty well. We had a couple other guys that ran well in that 3K, and then we had a couple guys run pretty well in the 800 as well. No one placed in the top 5, but they ran really good times for them. Derek and Bill both ran pretty well. So,
as a team, talk a little bit about the progress that maybe you've made since the season started, especially now that you've been able to move outdoors.
Yeah, I mean, for the guys first, we've made some huge steps for the guys. The times haven't really came down yet, but we're not looking for them to come down yet. But we've really been able to finally get outside, get on the track, do some of the faster work, get in some work, the rhythm type stuff that we don't get to do all winter. So it's really helped, and that's really going to kind of get our guys, especially our distance guys, to really kind of start getting over the hump there and really hopefully get those breakthroughs. And on the throw side of it, we're having some guys that are really starting to try to get some breakthroughs. JJ threw really well this past meet. He's coming off a pretty major shoulder injury, so it's good to see him throwing well again. So it's really helping us finally get outside. And on the women's side, it's kind of the same thing. Like, we're starting to finally get on the track and get those fast practices in, and they get that pace down, and it's really starting to improve. So it's only a matter of time before we see it on the track.
As far as the meet itself went, talk about the organization, what it takes to put on a meet like that, and also the fan support that you get being able to run here at home, and especially with the weather, a great crowd on hand.
Yeah, well, first of all, running a home track meet is, there's so many different areas. I mean, we couldn't pull it off without the help of the support staff of the sports information, and John Coles did a great job pulling together workers, and we had people from all areas of the athletic department. We had office workers out there working the track meet, kids from the equipment room, on top of the regular event staff kids. So it's quite a challenge, and you're trying to get officials for each event area. It's almost like 3 separate events in one, with the field events, the jumping events, and the track events. So it's quite a challenge, but with the help of a great support staff and great volunteer group, we were able to pull it off. And it's really nice to kind of see for the kids, especially kind of the local support we get. Had a great write-up in the Pioneer about the meet before it happened, and then another follow-up. So it was really nice for the kids to kind of get the support from the fans and the community. Like, hey, we only got one of these meets, so it's kind of nice to get some coverage from it.
As far as what's ahead, what are some of the big meets you've got left on the schedule here as you prepare for the GLIAC Championships?
Yeah, obviously the GLIAC Championships is kind of the big one we're keying for. And then we have some, we're shooting for a late April. It's kind of our big meet. So Hillsdale runs it's called Gina Relays. It's a big relay down at Hillsdale. And then EMU is going to run a twilight meet. I believe the third week of April. It's we're going to take a few kids down there with the national qualifying capabilities. And then the week after GLIACs, there's a huge, it's called a last chance qualifier meet down at North Central College. So those are kind of the big three we focus on. Hopefully we can get some national qualifiers out of those three meets, and we'll see what happens.
As far as maybe some kids that could qualify for that national meet, who are some of those kids maybe right now that are on the verge of being able to do that for you guys?
Well, right now we already have 3 girls that hit provisional. None of them are probably thrown far enough or ran fast enough times to get in, but they're already on the list, so that's huge. Jess Pilling's already provisional in the, actually we have 4 girls. Jess Pilling already provisional in the hammer. Amy Jo Sprint's already provisional in the discus. And then Anna Rudd has already hit the time in the 10K, and Samantha Johnson's hit the time in the 15. Samantha went indoors to national, so we're hoping we can get, maybe, get her or some of the girls to kind of hopefully get a time and get in there too. So.
And as far as the GLIAC meet goes here in early May, who are some of maybe the teams that are expected to challenge in the conference on both sides, and where do you see the Bulldogs maybe stacking up against some of those teams?
Well, right now, if you look at everything going off the last few years, Grand Valley is going to be the big powerhouse, men's and women's sides. Women's side, they're going to be defending indoor national champions, so they're going to be tough for anybody even to take a dent out of them. But I believe our girls can compete well, especially in those 400 and up. We'll have somebody in there trying to mix it up with the Grand Valley girls. And Ashland's another really quality women's team that's just really stepping up. And there's tons of programs out there. Hillsdale's really doing well. So we're kind of hoping on the women's side to kind of score some points in our areas and really kind of see if we can get somewhere, improve definitely on our finish from indoors. And then the guys' side, Grand Valley and Ashland are going to duke it out, right at the top. So, but I think our guys can get in there and steal some points. So it's kind of what we're hoping for, just kind of get some guys to get in there and get in the mix and hopefully start building for the future.
Well, best of luck as you wind down the season here. And again, it was a great day for the Bulldog Track and Field Invitational.
Yeah, it was one of those ones that we don't get every year, but we'll take it.
That's going to do it for another episode of Ferris Sports Update on the Bulldog Sports Network. You can follow all the action online at ferrisstatebulldogs.com. Thanks for tuning in.